As I said before, it's a great afternoon. Thank you all for coming. It is exciting and very heartfelt today for our town. Today we are here to recognize our new signs and to recognize some honored guests with history that is non-comparable. First, let me say, without a vision from the past, we wouldn't be here today. We will start out with our honored guests, and would you please stand and kind of wave your hand as I call your name. Jimmy Scola. I think when I brought my papers, I got it mixed up. Jimmy started out as city council for the town of Dover. He later went to be city manager. Jimmy worked very selflessly with the vision, and he worked with the council, and without his vision, we wouldn't be here today. His great leadership led the police, fire, law, and our town. So Jimmy, we appreciate everything you've done, and by his side is Nan, as she stood by him for the countless hours that he worked for our town of Dover. Could you give him all a big applause, please? Then we have Mr. Paul Bud Berry. We know him as Bud. Bud was elected city council in 1982. He later became vice mayor, where he was the very first to get the decorations for the town of Dover Christmas. So, Jeff, when y'all get upset with me, you can blame it on Bud, because he's the one, okay? Also, he and 3 other ladies from this community, they actually were the instrumental of getting our annual Christmas parade, which is now hosted by the Chamber of Commerce. So would y'all please give Bud a big hand. Then we have Tony Miller. There's Tony. Everybody knows Tony. Tony started to work with the town of Dover in 1974. And Tony worked whenever he was needed. I think he told me the other day he had 44 years, 4 months of full-time, 1 year part-time, but when we count all the weekends of the sewer, the water, all the grading and the salt in roads, I'm sure Tony has over 50 years with the town of Dover. And his wife, Sherry, she was very patient by his side as he was called out all hours of the night. So Tony, we thank you. Next, we're going to recognize a few educators. And at this time, Dr. Philip Wallace. He's right back there behind that limb in case y'all need to see him, okay? Dr. Philip Wallace, he's a native Stewart County. He started teaching in Indian Mound, Tennessee. So for those that are younger that don't remember Indian Mound, Tennessee, that was before North Stewart, the consolidation. He there went to Stewart County High School and then to Dover Elementary as principal. At the age of 29 years old, Dr. Wallace was elected superintendent, now known as director of school, that was now known as director of schools. He was known as the youngest across the state. He has also served the longest director thus far with 22 years. Dr. Wallace. And by his side, Miss Marie, she was the first woman to be elected to serve on the city council for the town of Dover. While serving, she was very instrumental to the park, which is now the Dover City Park, and it is enjoyed by all. Next we have Mr. Billy Clay Cherry and Miss Sandra. And I think they told me they were high school sweethearts. And they left from here after school. They started out in Savannah, and then they worked their way back to Dover. And he was a music teacher at the high school. He moved on from there to Dover Elementary principal, where he went over to the board office as supervisor instruction. Sandra was an elementary teacher, and she moved there with federal projects at the Board of Office. And to get together, those two have 69 years that they have gave to the town, to the community for education. Y'all give them a big hand. Next will be Miss Judy Cherry. Miss Judy, she also married her high school sweetheart, and she is a native of Stewart County. She came from Land Between the Lakes, and the LBL. And Elaine, you would appreciate that. Where's Elaine? There she is over there. She was from LBL. She came back. She started teaching in 1967 through 2007. She was part-time to 2015. She had a total of 33 years to our community for education. She married her, and as I said, she married her class sweetheart, Don. He served as a school board, county commissioner, planning commission, town of Dover, realtor, and the owner of Cherry Square. And of course, Miss Judy was by his side. Yes, there she is behind this Sandra. Okay, now we're going to move on to our businesses. Okay. Without our businesses, we would spend all of our extra time on the road, and we wouldn't even want to think about doing that. And we have so much dedication from our businesses. And so at this time, we can't recognize everyone. We appreciate every business that we have here. We just can't even start to tell you how much we appreciate. But we have some honored that we would like to recognize at this time. And we're going to start with Brigham Hardware.
Just a minute. Here we go.
I have attachments, and I'm not used to reading. I'd rather talk. Okay. Brigham Hardware actually began as Cherry and McElroy around 1916. It was a local hardware, sundries, and casket shop. Will Brigham bought Mr. McElroy's share of the business in 1945. And in 1946, he purchased the remaining share of the business from Mr. Cherry. Will married Rose Marie Reed in 1947, and together they ran the business until 1990, when their son Andy moved back to Dover. Andy left his law practice to come and pick up this business. He continued to work at Brigham with his son till 1998, and he passed. Miss Rose retired in 2003. At present, Andy and his wife Nadia are still peddling hardware, but not caskets. They are ever grateful for this wonderful small town and the people that fill it.
Just a minute. I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous. Can you tell? Just a little bit.
Next is Anglin Funeral Home. So everybody that is connected with Anglin Funeral Home, that actually works there, all of us are connected with it, but everybody that's actually connected with it, could you please raise your hand and as we go around so everybody will know. Everybody give them a big hand. The Anglin family has served the people of Stewart County for 54 years. On October 1st, 1970, after working for Mr. G.C. Milligan for 19 years, Herman and Margie Anglin purchased the funeral home from Mr. Milligan. In 1968, their son, Wayne is with us today, began working for Mr. Milligan while attending college. His brother, Mark Anglin, started working with the funeral home. After graduating from high school in 78, both are graduates from, am I pronouncing this, Gupton's College of Mortuary Science. In 2003, Wayne and Hope's daughter, Amanda Anglin Zellers, she came on, and Landon came, Mark and Lisa's son, in 2010. Landon? They became the employees of the funeral home while completing their college degrees. Also, Mr. Herman and Miss Margie's other grandchildren worked in the family business while preparing for other careers. So let me just say, with the Anglins, they're on their third generation. Yes. Last but not least, we have once known as Deals, we had Piggly Wiggly, Brian Deal. Yes, Mr. Frank is also here. And then Mr. Frank's sister, she's here. Yes. So,
Let me make sure I get this right.
the business here in Dover, it all started with Mr. John Daniel Deal. He was known as JD, but he was more known to everyone as Pappy Deal. Pappy Deal, after he left, Mr. Woodrow Deal operated the business. I didn't get the dates, but I know it was for many years because I'm older than dirt, and I remember them. So that Mr. Woodrow Deal, then it went to Mr. Frank Deal, and now Brian Deal has it, who is now known as Piggly Wiggly. And we are Brian Deal. Again, he is a fourth generation. I just think that's awesome. And at this time, also with Brian, we have a special guest with us today. And when you get you something to drink, remember this comes from Mr. Ricky Price from Pepsi Cola. And Mr. Price, if you'd like to come up, we would love to have you. Or I can keep you out of the dirt. Hold on.
Thank you very much for having us today. Robert, step back. Can you come forward, please, sir? Frank, you in that car alarm, you got us all away. Guys, I started the soft drink business 50 plus years ago. Can you hear me? How's that? Sorry about that. Loud.
Like me.
I got a loud mouth. Trust me, they've heard me coming. I started the soft drink business 50 years ago. I celebrated an anniversary. Without my business partners, like the deal, to keep my company, and I use the word, draw the peanut sign on right there, please. We are local. I'm about as local as you can get because we believe in the community. We do many things in the community, and we help and try to give back to the community. And when I came over last week, when Elaine Jackson and I with LBL, she told me something, and then the mayor and I got together, and I said, do you mind me coming over? She said, feel fitting today. So today, Brian had no idea we stopped at the store that what we were fixing to do for you, but I got to say thank you for your business. Been a great business partner, and without guys like you to stay in business, I have no business. But I want to present you today. Hold it. Quiet.
Woo, yeah.
Your family. And fitting, you know, I was in your office this morning, and that cup you got, I'm going to replace it right quick. Okay? But last but not least, I support local businesses in Dover, Tennessee. Robert's got a small token of lunch for you and your wife, maybe Frank, maybe. But from Mama Mia's here in Dover, we want you to have lunch on us some days. We want to say thank you for your business very much. And God bless you.
And I have to commit. I'm actually going to admit to something. When I called Brian, I said, Brian, y'all are 3 generations. He said, no, Miss Lisa, I'm 4. So we're so proud to have our Piggly Wiggly. We're proud to have all of our businesses. And would y'all give them all another big round of applause? And that's to everybody, past and present. Okay, now we're going to go to, we have Seals's. Okay, we have Jim. He's actually still there, but we also have the 3rd generation started on Seals Insurance. So where is Tom? Tom and John. Would y'all give them a big hand? Okay. Thomas Seals returned from the World War II to his home in LBL in Stewart County after being honored with Purple Heart and the Silver Star in the battle. In 1946, Mr. Thomas Seals was elected to serve as Register of Deeds for Stewart County. After serving 1 term, he had a chance to work at a local independent insurance agency owned by Mr. A.J. Sagely. This proved to be good for the fit for Mr. Ted Skills, and he was able to purchase the business in 1952. So when you look across the street and you see Seals, you think about 1952. That was before my time, and that's been a long time, okay? In 1973, Ted was joined by his son-in-law, Steve Douglas. In 85, son-in-law, Jim Myers, joined the business. Seals Insurance Agency has celebrated 72 years, 1952 through 2024 of business on the square in selling and servicing insurance. Now it's Tom Myers and John Douglas. Those are Ted's grandsons who continue the family tradition with 3 generations. So please give them a big hand. We're so proud of all of these. Yes. Now we'll move on. I'm moving on, Charles, okay? We'll move on to our new signs. I know everybody's seen them. If you hadn't, walk around here and look at them now, okay? But our new signs.
We are so proud to have our new signs.
But first of all, there's 3 ladies that we would like to recognize. And I don't think all 3 of them are here, but I know Shanna Mathis. Step out, Shanna, if you don't mind. Amber Sizemore. Is Amber here? There she is. And Donna Ward, that could not be with us this morning. These 3 ladies have donated so much of their time, and they've made such a positive impact on the design of our town of Dover, and they are also known as our Arts Council. We just could have not done that without you all. You have donated all of your time. We just appreciate y'all. So everybody, give them a big hand for our Town of Dover Arts Council. Now, and it's moving fast. Now it's moving fast. Okay, now it's time to brand our town. And I know a lot of people think of branding, they think of cattle. But when you look in the dictionary, it says it's the promotion of a particular product or company by means of advertising distinctive design. So today, we are going to brand our town, and we will preserve it with the brand of Town Between the Lakes. But it goes on from our signs. We also have not one piece of rock, of stone, we have 2. And these are going to be our historic landmark, and it could not be possible without the generosity of Joe Dark and his family, Miss Carolyn, his mom, and I think she's here today. He just messaged me and said he was tied up and couldn't come. So they were willing to let go of these treasures so that we could put them later we will have a permanent marking on each one of them, so when you come up here you'll be able to read it. But we are just so excited because we're going to actually call our sign not only the Town Between the Lakes, we're going to have the historic cornerstone that we are going to have. And at this time, Charles is going to read you a little bit about this stone here. This one was actually in 1869, but this one has a little bit more of a historic story to it.
Just a brief history here. This hand chiseled limestone block is from the resident Dr. James Wilson Smith built in 1864. Now serves as an Anglican funeral. James Wilson Smith was born February 23, 1818, about a mile east of Dover. At an early age, he ran away from home seeking a victory on the river. 5 years later, he returned to Dover, married, started studying medicine, opening his practice in 1853. During the Civil War, Dr. Smith was instrumental in helping Colonel Nathan Bedford Forrest and his men escape the surrender of Fort Donelson. Early in the war, Dr. Smith was appointed Assistant Surgeon General under Colonel Owens and reached his destination at Louisville, Kentucky. He was captured by the Union and imprisoned. While being transported, he jumped from a moving train, escaped 2 broken ribs and deep bruising, ultimately making his way back to Dover. In 1864, he resumed his practice at Dover, and the following year was appointed Assistant surgeon for the federal troops guarding the National Cemetery. So this hand shows the cornerstone is symbolic of our forefathers and fathers, who are the cornerstones and pillars of our town and communities, who held on to their faith to God, hope for the future, and charity to help provide a better life for someone in need, who stood together as leaders, families, and friends to face difficult challenges to provide a better tomorrow and a brighter future for our town. The town wants to thank each one of our honorary guests for their years of service and endless hours of dedication, for picking up the torch and carrying on the dreams of the past, to help each one hold on to their faith in God, hopes of tomorrow, charity to help one another. As we sit here and remembering the past and thinking of the future, we all have hopes and dreams. God has bestowed His many blessings upon each one of us, and has given us a beautiful day and another day of life. And He has given us this beautiful town with great hope to help provide a better tomorrow. We are proud of our new sign, which represents a strong foundation for the future of our town, the town and the lakes.
At closing, we would like to thank some people that has made this possible. First of all, I would like for all the employees that you look back and see the Town of Dover khaki shirts. Those are our utility workers that work really hard. Also, we have our Chief of Police with us today. And with all of his, would you all hold your hand up? They make everything a lot safer for us. We want to thank Charles Parks, our city manager. He does an outstanding job. Brent Parchment, that helped with the signs and took my calls late at night. Where's Brent? Bruce Saunders, that actually did the foundation for the signs, did an outstanding job. Melissa Parker, which she always works on the last minute with me. She's not here today, her daughter's graduating, so she's not with us, but Melissa does. Also, there's a business out by Mama Mia's, it's called Bubba's. They actually made some donations in our honorary bags today. We want to remember them as well. And Pepsi Cola, we thank you, Mr. Ricky, for your drinks, for your time, for doing all of the things for our community that we're so appreciative of. Adam Lamb is actually going to do the metal inscript to go on these rocks. So he's been in China, but he said when he got back, he would go to work on them. So we appreciate that as well. We thank all of you for coming today. We thank all of our Town of Dover employees, our council. I'd like to have our council step out. I know Jane Burkhart's here. Alex is here. I think Archie Story is out of town. He couldn't be here. And then we have Jonathan Timmons. They do an outstanding job. We're a great team, y'all. Great team. We want to thank our county mayor, Boo Beecham, our present director of schools, Dr. Wallace, Mike Craig. And I know I've missed some people, but I just thank everyone for coming today. We have a wonderful town. Everybody is so close-knit. I know Amanda has started a fund for her son that her sister messaged me and asked if I would share it on Facebook. And you'll just need to get on there and read the detail because it's affected her family. So I encourage you to do that. I most of all encourage you to go deeper in these roots. We got Steve with us today, the Historical Society and the Archives. So I really hope that this will just kind of make it be like a little flower bloom, that you'll be wanting to go and see more of what we've had and what we are. And we just appreciate everybody coming. If you could please sign the book for us, grab you a bracelet that says what? Town between the lakes. Y'all, this is the conclusion.
I want to thank before we forget our mayor, who's the driving force of our city, who has put endless hours in all the events and helps us each and every day with operations and whatever we need in support to provide services for our community and for our citizens. Thank you, Mayor, very much for all you do.
This concludes it. Everybody get him something to drink, sign the book, get your bracelet, and if you were the honorary guest, see me please before you leave. Thank you all for coming.